Hello everybody, welcome once again to another DashFight video. I am Sebastian Quintanilla, senior writer for DashFight, and today we will be talking about a few Mortal Kombat facts you probably didn't know about. This is not our first video talking about Mortal Kombat facts, so we will avoid the most common ones, like the origins of Rain and how Noob Saibot is actually a little bit of a wordplay on the game's creators. In this list, we'll instead focus on some of the deeper cutting and more interesting facts that most people might not have heard about. The world of Mortal Kombat is fascinating, and its Easter eggs and deep lore only add to it. If you haven't already, give DashFight a follow, and for more videos like this one, go ahead and tap the notification bell so you don't miss any of them. So we start off with the fact that there has been a SubZero character in every Mortal Kombat game. There are actually two characters that don the blue ninja suit, both siblings, one of them Bi-Han and the other one Kuai Liang. There is space for a technicality here that there is a difference between one SubZero and the other, but we're not gonna get into that one today. The important part about this fact is that when you think about main characters in the Mortal Kombat franchise, you might think Scorpion and Liu Kang as well, but interestingly enough, they were both missing from Mortal Kombat 3. In the case of Liu Kang, this was for the Game Boy version of Mortal Kombat 3, and ultimately he needed to be unlocked in Mortal Kombat Deception. Alright, we don't mean the game versions of the Fire God Liu Kang. He is a faithful ilk, he will never do that. What we're actually talking about is the actors who played those characters for the first two games. Obviously, Liu Kang was played by Ho Sung Pak, while Kitana was played by Kathleen Samyar, who also played Milena. And apparently the two kinda ended up together through the production of the game, so we can say that their love between Liu Kang and Kitana is actually canon. This one is a little bit more spicy. So for Mortal Kombat 1 and 2, the roles of SubZero and Scorpio were played by Daniel Pesina. Pesina also did the motion capture for Johnny Cage, but he was replaced by John Turk. Why? Well, Midway discovered that Pesina had done some promotional work for Bloodstorm, a game that was trying to undercut the whole Mortal Kombat aesthetic. And what truly elevates this dramatic fact is that Pesina did the promotion in a full Johnny Cage costume. Midway wouldn't have any of it, and they quickly separated themselves from Pesina. While Sonya would go on to become one of the most inseparable characters to the Mortal Kombat franchise, she wasn't originally going to be in the game. Sonya was a last-minute addition in a bid to compete with Street Fighter and ensure that the game wasn't released without a single female fighter. The plan was for Jax to be the final character in the first Mortal Kombat with the name Striker, and Jax would eventually join the cast in Mortal Kombat 2. Sonya was also named after Ed Boon's sister, who was loosely based on Cynthia Rothrock. Jean-Claude Van Damme Bloodsport was a 1988 movie that was hugely popular, and it certainly caught the attention of Ed Boon and John Tobias. They wanted to take the same beefy man, Jean-Claude Van Damme, and put him into a video game, a fighting game. But after a little bit of deliverance, they didn't see the viability on it. Though then came in Street Fighter, and suddenly Midway was entirely on board with the idea, whether it was with or without the beefcake, and so they got to work in Mortal Kombat. Johnny Cage was then loosely based on the martial artist, and his infamous split kick groin punch is a direct callback to that particular movie from '88. Nowadays, Kano is a trash-talking Australian pirate with just the right amount of disgusting to make everybody around him hate him, and all of us love him. He actually wasn't supposed to be an Australian. In the original design, he was a Japanese-American character with an aesthetic inspired by the Terminator films, but when Trevor Goddard played the role of Kano in the 1995 Mortal Kombat movie, the creators of the game saw something and they loved it. So Kano became Australian from there on out. The Mortal Kombat franchise has a slew of unbelievable characters. Goro with his forearms and Kintaro was a freaking centaur. Bellock was said to be one of those characters, or at least within the same category of weird but also interesting. Bellock was started to make his debut in Mortal Kombat Gold, but those plans had to be set aside due to time constraints. However, legend has it that he was a secret character in Mortal Kombat Gold due to an anomaly with Tanya's secret character box. Though in retrospect, it really seems like that was a hoax, considering the fact that Ermac and Scarlet were also rumored secret characters. We just might get Bellock someday. Maybe NRS? Go ahead and do it? Come on, do it. Did you ever play the second pit stage in Mortal Kombat 2 and notice a guy that looked like Kang in the background facing another blazing dude? That, my friend, is Hornbuckle. Hornbuckle has never made an official appearance in the Mortal Kombat series as a playable character, but at times people went a little bit wild on if it would be a new character. The name comes from one of Jade's hints, as one of her voice lines asks, "Hornbuckle who?" Canonically, he has no name, though initially the person he is supposedly fighting against is called Blaze, made his debut as a playable character in Mortal Kombat Deadly Alliance. In truth, the character that you saw in that background stage was simply a palette swap of Liu Kang. One of Mortal Kombat's most enduring and endearing mechanics is the fatality. These game-ending sequences have entertained and shocked fans for decades. But did you know that they actually are inspired by the DC state from the Street Fighter II games? What do they have in common? Well, Ed Boon, co-creator of Mortal Kombat, once said in an interview how he liked the idea of getting a free hit, but hated that it could be in the middle of a game. So instead, he had it at the end of the game. The life-ending attributes of the mechanics were added later. The Dark Necromancer Quan Qi first appeared in the Mortal Kombat Mythologies game for SubZero as a secondary antagonist to that title. However, his first appearance in the franchise as a whole was in a non-canon animated series called Mortal Kombat Defenders of the Realm. He appeared in a 1996 episode called The Secret of Quan Qi, a whole year before his in-game debut. He was also supposed to appear in the Mortal Kombat Annihilation movie, but that idea got quickly out of the window. And so, he has never been in an MK movie since. So, those are our 10 facts. We hope you have enjoyed the video and could at least find a new one to share at your table when you're talking with other Mortal Kombat enthusiasts. I'm sure there are some out there. If you could give this video a thumbs up and let us know in the comments what other Mortal Kombat facts you might have come across that we didn't mention or that you haven't seen mentioned in other places. Until next time, have a good one.